Hey parents, I wanted to let you kind of behind the scenes on some things we do in the student ministry. One of our primary emphasis, really a philosophy of our student ministry, is that we truly want to equip the students, the teenagers themselves, to be leaders within our student ministry. We believe that that is really effective for one primary reason. One real reason that I do it is this, is that if we equip them to be disciples who make disciples, and we really train them as leaders, I believe, and it has shown and it proved itself to be true, is that after high school, once they've graduated and gone off to whatever they may do, if it's a career, if it's to college, and that we've seen that they have stayed in the church and continued to serve in the church. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they've been equipped and not just been led and shown how other people do things, but instead they've been able to actually do it themselves. And so when they leave high school, they feel like they can go and do it instead of seeking out someone else to show them again, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you? And they never have the opportunity to lead themselves. And so we believe that it is important for our students to lead as well as our adults. And so we have adult leaders inside of the student ministry, but we also challenge our students to lead themselves. And so I wanted to encourage you and kind of let you behind the scenes on why we do that and how we do that. One way that we do that, and there's four primary ways that we do it, but one way that we do it is we create worldview. A way that I have encouraged our students and really committed to do this with them is through taking them down to Soul Church, through showing them videos and teaching them in a way that encourages them and challenges them to see past racism and see past sexism and all these different ways that people judge others, and to have a worldview that doesn't isolate themselves to what they know, but instead to the entire world and to what is going on in our world today, and being able to teach them biblical truth within that worldview. We've also taken them on mission trips, and I've also been able to come back and show them about mission trips that I've been on myself, and trying to create that worldview so that our students would look past just the culture that they live within and be able to understand that there's something bigger than what they're doing here, that God has a bigger and a global purpose for the gospel that is larger than what they do here just in FSM. Another way that we do this is we help them to discover God's plan for their own lives. We have intentional time throughout Thrive and throughout what we do to pray, to give students time to understand, what does God want from me? And we teach them biblically. We teach them, wisdom. I try to impart wisdom as much as I can to the kids so that they're able to discern what God's plan is for their own lives. Another way that we do this is we equip our kids. If a student comes to me and says, hey, I feel like God's gifted me in this and I want to do this, we want to equip them to be the best leader they can be within the student ministry. And so we don't just equip adults. We don't just equip pastors to come and do the work. We equip students to do the work of the ministry that within our student ministry. And we believe this. We believe it's a philosophy and a passion, not just because we want students to serve. We feel like they need to serve, or it's like an obligation. We want them to do it because we believe this will continue a lifelong pursuit of Jesus Christ as they grow and they feel able and equipped to serve Jesus in the local church and outside of the local church. And then the fourth way is that we really want to inspire them to be the best that they can be. Not only equip them, not only show them what God want them to do, but to inspire and encourage them to do what God wants them to do. And so I just wanted to challenge you, as you've seen kind of a little bit of the behind the scenes of what we do. We have well over 30 to 40 students who serve. Not just that many in our student ministry, but that many who are in a leadership position within our student ministry, being equipped every week to do the work of the ministry within the local church. And so we take these students and we inspire them, encourage them, and then they go home to you. And I want to challenge you to continue that process, that you as a parent, you as a mentor, or whatever your capacity is with teenagers, that you would do these same four things, that you would teach them worldview, that you be careful with what they read and what they watch and what they listen to, and what you impart to them and where you take them, what you spend your money on, what you spend your resources on, your time. You be careful because you're teaching them and creating a worldview for teenagers. And second, that you would be very purposeful, that you would have a purpose and a direction for their lives, not only for their sports life, not only for their schooling life, but for their plan down the road. Look, one of the most stressful times your teenager is going to deal with is when they get to that 11th and 12th grade year and they say, oh, what am I going to do after high school? And it begins this welling up in their heart of stress. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know if I'll get in. I don't know how we're going to afford it. All these questions. And then you're asking the same questions. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? How are you going to be successful? How are we going to pay for what you want to do? And you ask all these questions. And I want to challenge you to begin early in this plan, to begin asking this question, not how are you going to provide, not where, how are they going to be successful in all these things, but instead ask this question, what does God want for their lives? And start asking that in 6th, 7th, 8th grade as you pray with them and as you challenge them to seek the Lord's will for their own life. So first, you create a biblical worldview. Second, you ask, what is my plan within this worldview? And you teach them and train them and pray, what is your teenager's plan from God given to them within this worldview, within this global plan that God has for the world? And third, that you would train yourself, that you would equip yourself. Here's the deal, man. Some of your teenagers, some of the students that we work with, they're going to be doctors or teachers or construction workers or actors or singers or whatever they may be. There's going to be just a wealth of different types of careers in store for our teenagers. And it might not be your career path. It may be different than what you do, and you might not see the validity of it. You might say, what in the world is my teenager doing? But if they're passionate about it, and if it's within God's plan, and you feel, man, y'all both come to this idea of like, man, this is what God wants. Learn, grow, and find out how to teach your teenager to be the best they can possibly be at doing that, because it is God's plan for their life. If you have discovered and they have discovered that's what God wants for their life, you become their greatest teacher, their greatest mentor. And that comes to the fourth, and that's this: inspire the mess out of them. Inspire them so much that they feel like they're the best and the greatest and that they can do it and they can overcome problems, they can overcome struggles, and they can do it with hard work. They can do it with your encouragement, and they can do it while God walks with them. Be their encourager. Be their biggest encourager of their greatest dreams within the worldview and the plan that God has given them. We believe this is very important because we believe this is one way, one crucial way that they can continue their relationship with Jesus Christ after high school. And that is when they feel like they can really do what God's called them to do, both because of your encouragement, because of their equipping from you and from us. And then they go and they live out what God's called them to do. So it's been fun. Thank you for letting me kind of take you behind the scenes of what we do really quick and then challenging you. And I hope you will continue this challenge to live it out beyond what we do at FSM when they come home to you, that you would continue to grow them into the awesome, wonderful child of God that they are as they leave this church. And finally, I do want to challenge you with this. If you feel like, man, you have a little bit of capacity to do these 4 things outside of the home, maybe you don't have teenagers anymore, or maybe you feel like you want to work with teenagers, would you just contact me and just let me know, man, I feel like I would love to be a part of what you're doing and inspiring these teenagers to live their Christian walk out now and also in the future. So let me know. Email me, matt@fivestonechurch.com, or call or Facebook or whatever you want to do to get in contact with me. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.